Hi everyone, welcome to the Dataholics YouTube channel. And this video is also in continuation of our DSA using Python series, right? So till now we have studied some concepts like algorithmic complexity, recursion, towers of Hanoi problem, n-beans problem, and some other problem statements using recursion. Then we have studied about searching techniques like linear search, binary search. We have solved some problems on binary search from lead code. Then we have also studied about sorting techniques like bubble sort and insertion sort, right? Now this video we will discuss about selection sort. How does it work? How does it differ from bubble sort and insertion sort? The time complexity and space complexity of selection sort, and we will understand the intuition, we will see the visualization, and we will write the algorithm and then the code, right? So without wasting much of the time, let's get started. Right. So let's say this is the array and we want to sort it in ascending order at this moment, right? Descending order, for descending order, things will be very, very opposite. No much change. Correct. So what happens in ascending, in selection sort is we start a loop of I, let's say from the first index, correct? And then we consider it as the minimum index. Minimum index, that means I consider. So how does it work actually? Let me first tell you. What we do is we pick the smallest element. We pick the smallest element, place it at the first position, place it at first position, and then repeat for all the elements. Basically, these are all the steps in algorithm which we are going to follow. All the elements. So for instance, what I will do here is, let's say I consider minimum index is equal to I, which starts from 0. So for example, for me right now, I is 0 as well as minimum index is 0. Then what I will do, I will start another loop of j from 1 to n. Because let's say I have considered this 29 as the minimum index, right? 0 is the minimum index. So basically 29 is the minimum element. This is what I have considered initially. Then we will do, what we will do is we will start another loop from 10, then go to 14, then go to 37, and then go to 14. And we will compare 29 with each of them. So let's say 29 is greater than 10. So we have found a smaller element than 29. So what I will do is I will make minimum index instead of I as j. Why? Because initially I thought that this is the minimum element, but I have found something smaller than that. So I will consider the minimum index as j. Then I will again compare this with other elements. Let's say 10 is the minimum as per this moment. Then I will compare 10 with 14. No, nothing. Then I will compare 10 with 14. 10 is smaller, so nothing. Again, then I will compare 10 with 14 and 10 is smaller, so nothing will happen. So once this iteration is closed, we have picked up the smallest element. We have completed the step 1. I hope you are able to understand. So for me, as soon as this iteration is closed, I will swap. What I will do is I will swap with what? Array of minimum index, which was initially 29. I will swap it with array of I, right? Is equal to array of I, comma array of minimum index. Right, so this is what we are going to, how we are going to write the code. But let us first execute it and understand the whole thing, right? So after first iteration, what will be the array? 10, then 29, then 14, then 37, and then 14, correct? So now at this time, the value of I will be 1 because the value of I is from 0 to n, right? So the I will be 1. And then we will start the loop of j, minimum index is equal to I, which is 1. Then we will start the loop of j from 2, I plus 1 to the last. Why 2? Because since this element is already sorted now. So we will start the loop of I from here. The next iteration, I will start from here. Now this is what I'm considering the minimum. So I will start comparing 29 with 14, then 37, and then 14. Correct? So that is why the loop of j will start from 14 till last. So j will 2 to n. Then we will see 29 is greater than 14. So we have found a smaller element than 29. So again, we will do this. Minimum index is equal to j. So currently minimum index was 1. Now minimum index will be 2. Why 2? Because the index of 14. right? Then we will compare 14 with 37, no change. Then we will compare 14 with 14, no change. So after this iteration, again we will do this swap. So array of 2 will become array of I, which is 29. And array of I, which is array of 1, will become 14. Correct? So after this iteration, the array will become 10, 14, 29, 37, and 14. Now you see, after second iteration, 2 elements are sorted. Right? So next iteration I will be this. And we will start J from here. 37 and 14. Again, we will compare 29 with 37, no change. We will compare 29 with 14, there will be a swap. So after third iteration, 10, 14, 14, and then 37, and then 29. Again, at the last, we will consider this as I, this as J. So again, we will do the comparison and there will be a swap. Right? 10, 14, 14, 29, and 37. So basically what is happening is, after each iteration, one element is coming to the right position actually. Right? So this is about ascending order. Similarly, what we can do is we can sort it in descending order also. Let me give you the very quick walkthrough. Let's say initially the elements were 29, 10, 14, 37. 29, 10, 14, 37, and 14, right? So let's say these are the elements initially. So I will consider this as the highest element and I will compare it with all other elements. So let's say I compare 29 with 10. So 29 is already larger, so no swap. 29 with 14, again it is larger, no swap. 29 with 37, it is larger, so there will be a swap, right? And then 29 with 14, no swap. So after first iteration, 37 will come here, 10, 14, and 29, and then 14, right? Then again, this element is sorted now. So we will start I from here and J from here, correct? So 10 will be considered as the maximum element and it will be compared with 14. So 14 is larger, so there can be a swap. Then I will compare 10 with 29. It is even larger. So sorry, not 10, 14 will be compared with 29. 29 is even larger. So what I will do is, and then it will also be compared with 14. But since 29 is the largest, so 29, then this 10 will be swapped with 49. So 10 and 14. Similarly, 14 will be compared with 10 and then 14, no swap. Then this 10 will be compared with 14, so there will be a swap. So 37, 29, 14, 14, and 10. This is how it will work. Right? After each iteration, one element will come at the correct position. So that is how selection sort is going to work. Correct. I will also show you the visualization very quickly. You see here, this is the array, and let us see the execution. So first, for the first iteration, we were considering 29 as the minimum element. Let me just remind it. The red color will be considered as the minimum element. So once 29 is compared with 10, 10 is the smallest. So now the minimum element is 10. Then 10 is compared with 14, 10 is compared with 37 and 14 also. There is no smaller element. So after the first iteration, we will swap 29 and 10 like this. So this is first iteration. Now see, 10 is fixed. The smallest element of the array has come to the front. This is exactly how selection sort works. Then 29 will be considered the minimum element in the next iteration. Then 29 will be compared to 14. Since 14 is smaller, the smallest element will be given to 14. Then 14 is compared with 37 and 14. So since 14 is the smallest element found, so it will be swapped with 29. So after second iteration, 2 elements are sorted. Now next, in the third iteration, 29 is being considered the smallest. It will be compared with 37 and 14. Since there is a smaller element 14 present, so 14 will be given the smallest element and it will be swapped with 29 like this. So after third iteration, 3 elements are sorted now. Similarly, we will move forward and there will be a swap between 37 and 29. Correct? So I hope you understand through this website, this visualization. After fourth iteration, 4 elements are sorted and last. Correct? Now there is a catch. Let me just give you very important insight here. Let's say 29 26, 14, 10. Let's say this is the array which is already sorted. Let us see how does it works. Selection sort. So 29 will be considered as the smallest and it will be compared with all. Right? So 10 will be found the smallest, it will be swapped. Again, next iteration 26 will be considered the smallest and compared with all. 14 will be given the smallest and swapped. So can you see one thing? This array was initially already sorted, but still it is doing all its steps. It is still following every step. See, every step. So the catch here was that the time complexity of selection sort in best case scenario as well as worst case scenario is same. It is working exactly same, which is order of n square. I will show you how does it come, but the time complexity is same. I hope this is what you can understand from here at least. Right? This is very intuitive to understand, very easy to understand. Right? So that is all about the visualization. Let us go to Google Colab and quickly see the algorithm and code. So selection sort works by selecting the smallest element, placing it at the correct position. So we consider one element as the smallest, compare with all other elements. We find the smallest of all, place it at the correct position, and then repeat the remaining for all others array. See, this is what exactly we discussed in the initial phase. This is the algorithm of selection sort, right? Then intuition is instead of swapping again and again, we find the minimum, put it in the correct position, correct? So that is all. Start from index 0, find the smallest element in the remaining array, swap with the current index if, what you can say is, if any smaller element is found. Element is found. And then move to the next index, repeat the same step for all. Correct? So see the code, very simple. Define selection sort. Initially, we would require an array. Then length is equal to n. We are storing. Then we will make a loop for I in range to n. So because we want to go to each element. Then we will consider the first index as the smallest. So see guys, very carefully. Let me just quickly copy this. In the first iteration, I will consider this element as the smallest. This is I. So I will consider this as the smallest. But in the second index, the array would be something like this. In the second iteration, after first iteration, the elements are something like this. Right? So this is already sorted. So next time I will start from here, and this is what I will consider as the minimum index. So that is why minimum index is equal to I, not 0, not 1, not something. Because after each iteration, I will consider the first element of the remaining array as the minimum. I'm repeating it. Please listen to it very carefully. After each iteration, one element is sorted, right? And remaining array is unsorted. So I will consider the first element of the unsorted array, first element of the remaining array as the minimum. So minimum index is equal to I. And then I will start the loop of j from here. So the loop of j will always start from I plus 1 and it will go till the last to n, right? So see, for j in range, I plus 1 to n. Then what I will do is I will compare minimum index, the element of minimum index with j. Sorry, not equal to, but let's say if it is if j, greater than array of j. So this means we have found something smaller. So then what I will do is I will say minimum index initially was I, but now it will be j. Right? So for example, we compare 29 with 10. So initially minimum index was the index of 29, but we have found something is smaller. So what I will do is I will consider the minimum index as 1. That is what I am doing here. Right? See, so if array of j is less than minimum index, so minimum index is equal to j. So we will do for all other elements in the array. Once the loop of j terminates, that means we have traversed the whole array. That means we have checked all the elements and we have found the minimum index. And after coming out of the for loop, we will swap array of I and minimum index. Right? And finally, after everything, return the array. That's all about selection sort. So executing this code, you see this is the array which is unsorted. Selection sort, this. Like, so this was the code for selection sort in ascending order. I will forward this notebook in the description also. Selection sort, ascending order. So now just imagine what change do we need to do to make it in descending order. What change? Can you tell me? Pause the video and let me know in the comments if you can understand. So there is only one change, guys. Only one change. Here, instead of less than, I will say greater than. Right? And let me just copy the this code, array, calling and everything. So selection sort, DESC. Let me give the name as DESC. And selection sort, DESC. You see now this array is sorted in descending order, right? So that's all about selection sort using Python. Now, related to time complexity, since we have already visualized whether it is already sorted. See, bubble sort, the time complexity is order of n. So if the array is already sorted, the swap variable will remain false and the loop will terminate, break. But in selection sort, it will keep iterating. It will do every step of its own. Right, so it will not use any common sense that the array is already sorted, there is no swapping done or something. It will keep doing the every steps, so that best and worst case time complexity both of selection sort is order of n square. See, I'll just show you very quickly. Yeah, so see, best case order of n square, average case order of n square, worst case order of n square, right? So that is all. And just try to compare, try to calculate the number of comparisons done, like by this this one. How many times has this comparison done? And also number of swaps. Swap means this one. So please try to calculate these two things and let me know your answer in the comment section, right? So that's all about selection sort, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you liked the video. आपको concept समझ आया होगा. I hope you understood the concept of selection sort, right? So if you understand this concept, please consider liking the YouTube video, sharing it to your friends, and subscribing to the YouTube channel, The Dataholics, right? So that's all. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.